I've had this conversation with Peter Boghossian and James Lindsay and Helen Pluckrose, who did the Sokal Squared hoax. Very, very smart individuals. And Peter Boghossian, for instance, he believes, and this was a while ago we had this conversation, so I don't, maybe his opinion's changed, that the intersectionality emerged through the colleges in the 80s and all this stuff. My argument was maybe, but it only exists today because of the accident of the Facebook algorithm. And so I've mentioned this several times, but for you, Alan, I'll tell it now and to everyone listening. Basically, what happened is in the early days of Facebook, they were trying to figure out how to maximize site longevity, like how long someone was on the website. And so they started creating feed algorithms. It was a combination of factors. In the early days of Facebook, you just got reverse chronological feed, right? You followed somebody, you were friends. If they post something, you got it. As the site grew bigger and bigger, people started following and liking more and more pages. You end up with someone who on average had 300 friends, but also liked 300 pages, and their feed was so fast they couldn't read through it. So Facebook said, let's create an algorithm to make sure we're showing them what they most likely are to enjoy and click on. What ended up happening was around the same time, digital blogs started popping up, and it was partly because of Facebook. They started making money, becoming successful. The articles were getting shared on Facebook. Facebook liked that because it was creating activity on the platform. And then these companies like Huffington Post, et cetera, started making money. But something interesting happens when you incorporate Facebook constantly updating its algorithm to work better and better and better. We ended up getting waves of police brutality videos. There was a period where there was one website that was ranked global top 400 or something when it was nothing but police brutality videos. Why? Because it was what people were clicking on. So Facebook kept shoving it in people's faces, just beating them over the head with it like, this is what you want. And it was shockingly crazy footage of cops just beating people and beating people. So what happens is the news organizations, the blogs that started writing shock content, started seeing more traffic and making more money. Eventually they learned, wait a minute. There's more to life than just police brutality. There's also racism and sexism, right? So some websites started writing racism. Some said sexism. Racism is X, sexism is Y. You get X views or Y views. Combine the two and you get X plus Y views. Intersectional articles started getting way more traffic. The racist, sexist police brutality, targeting, black people, and boom, Black Lives Matter pops into existence. So what happens is these news organizations realized, and whether it was on purpose or not, they made more money when they wrote about all of these subjects combined. And now you actually see this stuff. Like Vice had one article that was really funny that it was like black trans women of color fighting back against police brutality for Black Lives Matter. And it's like they just jammed every possible keyword in there because Facebook would then share it with more communities. They would get more traffic and make more money. Thus, intersectionality was perfect for this algorithm. It started to emerge because the algorithm was trying to find what, people would want to see the most.